Kevin Cox, a member of the marketing committee here at Red Cliffs. And if it seems like Larry Bruley is everywhere on the range, well, that's because he is. And we're going to talk about all the things you do, Larry, in a minute. But first, if you would, just tell us how you got started at Red Cliffs.
I became a member in 2018. And since then, I've just found different things to do here. Become an RSO, helped a lot with maintenance and some of the larger interesting construction projects here, as well as being a match director for the fun shoot.
Well, the most interesting construction project, we're sitting on the steps, it's the shoot house. You were a general contractor, but this project you're telling me was unique.
This project was unique. My background gave me some basics to fulfill this project, but it was different. There was a lot of things to consider when building this house. There were some design issues, so it was different.
So even though you had extensive construction experience, you found some things that you didn't anticipate.
Yes, this project is definitely unique. There were so many things to consider when we got around to designing and engineering this thing. The space of the bay, that we get a lot of water in the desert sometimes. When it does rain, it rains a lot. We get winds that can reach up to 80 miles an hour here. We have critters that live here, rattlesnakes and rats and things that we don't want in here. So you'll notice the house is not actually sitting on the ground, and that's allowed us to mitigate a lot of the problems that we anticipated that were going to be a problem with building this thing here. So the engineering and material choices were definitely unique to this project.
No one can ever question your dedication. You almost cut your finger off and then showed up a couple hours later at the board meeting?
That is correct. Matter of fact, I was working on this staircase. It was the very last cut of the day, right up there at that post, and my grinder got caught, and I had just taken my gloves off to change the blade. Yeah, this finger here went about halfway through, from about here to here, and this finger went about 25% through. Fortunately, it didn't do any extensive bone damage, so they still work great, but are totally numb. This finger's totally numb on the side, and this finger's totally numb on the side. The nerve endings never really grew back. Mark Harms was here. He rushed me to the hospital. We put my fingers back together, and then I was able to make the board meeting directly after that. Yeah.
This is such a great benefit, not only to range members and the public, but law enforcement.
Yes, I would agree. This shoot house actually serves a lot of purposes. It obviously was designed primarily for law enforcement and military training. However, there are classes that you can take in here too, as well as tactical courses. This shoot house is also used for the fun shoot, which we do occasionally in here. It's basically for club members, but the general public can use this during a special event or a class if they do want to get in here.
Many shoot houses don't even have a second story. Initially, you weren't a fan of that.
That's correct, Kevin. When you purchase a shoot house, a modular or pre-built house, none of them really have a second story. When you get into the law enforcement training and the military training, then you start to see this. They have observers and trainers that will be standing up here. When President John Popke approached me and said he wanted a second story on this building, I tried to talk him out of it. I didn't understand what he was trying to achieve. We do have it closed to the general population. You can't just come up here, so that's a safety issue, but that is correct.
Larry, you put a lot of thought into this. Talk us through it.
Yes, well, it wasn't just an observation deck or a trainer's perch. I knew that there was going to be shooting from up here as well, so in order to make it more functional, it created some different openings and some different heights for different positions of shooting. So these two right here you'll see were for standing and shooting down. This one here is for kneeling, so you can practice your kneeling shots. And then around the corner, this window here is for prone or very low positions. The bar is there to make sure people don't actually fall out of the window. This window here is for observation and training purposes. The observers or trainers can be here and watch what's happening down below.
Bruce Furr started the fun shoots in 2017, and you came along in 2018 and started shooting with him.
That's correct, Kevin. I first shot a fun shoot with Bruce in 2018. I liked the fun shoot, and I liked Bruce a lot. So I started shooting with him regularly. A few years ago, I took over the match director position for Bruce. Bruce still helps out a lot with the fun shoot, but I'm the one who's kind of directing it at this point.
When I was a brand new club member, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know you. I show up at a fun shoot, I felt welcomed immediately, because after all, it's supposed to be fun, right?
I am really glad to hear that, Kevin, because that is exactly what we're trying to portray at the fun shoot. We want to attract all ages, all skill levels, all genders, it doesn't matter. We want everyone to come. I've shot with kids that were 8 years old. I have a lady that shoots with us that's in her mid to late 80s. So yes, that's exactly what we're trying to do. It is supposed to be fun.
Fun shoots are supposed to be fun, but there's a serious purpose because you were building proficiency in case we ever have to use our firearms in self-defense.
That's correct. So we run under a competitive format. Of course, there's no prizes or trophies, but that's our format. However, yes, the primary goal is safety. We have people come in that are not very proficient. They learn fairly quickly because our focus is so strong on safety. Yes, we want to have fun, but I have a 3-page safety briefing before you can shoot. And part of that briefing says, hey, if you get corrected, please don't be offended. And people are very receptive to that.
So a fun shoot is also about proficiency. Tell us about some of the courses and how that builds confidence with a firearm.
My hopes is that we don't ever have anyone bored. So we try to do a lot of different types of shooting at the fun shoot. We'll have law enforcement qualification courses. That includes FBI and Air Marshal. We do a lot of steel shooting, so we'll do different types of that, either an IPSC type setup or steel challenge. We do some steel challenge. And a lot of times it's just creative process. I will make up something in my brain that will include some things that I think people need to work on. The other thing I'll do is exclude certain things or include certain things, such as sometimes we have a rimfire only match. Sometimes we have a centerfire only match. Sometimes I require 2 different guns for the match. The idea is to not exclude anyone, to include everyone and include all different types of firearms and different types of scenarios and training. So that is correct. We want everyone to be as proficient as they can with any and all of their firearms, not just one.
Larry, you're wearing your RSO gear because you are one of the range safety officers at fun shoots. Because after all, you got to be safe.
That is correct. Yes, me and Jim Black, he's the other primary RSO at the fun shoot, and agreed. You can have all the fun you want, but you have to do it safely. So yes, our paramount, safety is paramount.
So let's talk about guns. What's your favorite? Why do you shoot it?
Well, with a background in competition, my favorites will always be the custom competitive pistols and PCCs. Those are my favorite. But you know, when you come to a fun shoot and people show up with their tactical gear, they show up with their stock Ruger 22. That's the wonderful thing about it is we're not trying to exclude anyone. We want to include everyone. So you see a lot of different stuff at the fun shoot, a lot of different types of firearms.
Larry, I want to thank you for the interview, but also for all the work you've done around here. I mean, it's just great. Thank you. I'm Kevin Cox. As Jack Cully, our marketing manager here at Red Cliffs, always says, see you at the range.